What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Sector for Nerds. Today I'm here to give you guys my thoughts on Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 13, Into the Breach. Before I begin today's video, I want to give a shout out to Caleb's Cave of Collectibles for being a $5 or above tier member. And you as well can become a tier member by clicking on the link in the description below. And be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. So much amazing content going up on my channel right now between the Bad Batch discussions, the Clone Wars discussions. Every Thursday, my brother is hosting a live stream. I've got YouTube shorts going up here and there. Definitely don't want to miss out on any of it. Last week, what was the title of my video? I essentially called it No One Knows How to Find Tantiss. Well, this week, you guys, we found Tantiss. This episode was all about the Bad Batch teaming up with Rampart to try and, get the coordinates to Tantiss. And when they find out, well, they can't extract the coordinates from the computer, so they have to then sneak aboard another ship to make their way there. But you guys, this episode, we didn't just have Hunter and Wrecker and Crosshair. We got Echo back. It is about freaking time. Where have you been? I know, he's been with Rex, but why haven't you been with our team? Echo's basically a part-timer at this point. He's like what Ahsoka was in Rebels. That Tantiss theme, you guys, every time that they cut back to Tantiss, they have this ominous theme playing. It's ooh. It's chilling. It's got this intense feel to it. Now, for those who are wondering, well, why couldn't the Imperials have just realized who Rampart was? Here's my counter to that. If all it took for Superman to disguise himself was a pair of glasses, I think a beard is good enough. Moment I liked from this episode was when Wrecker took out that Imperial officer. I was just sitting there the whole time Wrecker, just take this dude out. You're so much better than him. Come on. I think my Bad Batch member for this week, you guys, for the Bad Batch member of the week segment, I'm going to give it to Echo this week. Echo is the whole reason why this plan ended up working. Because he had to sneak aboard the shuttle and he had to take out their sensors, right? So they couldn't pick up on the ship if the Bad Batch were going to dock on board, right? And it ended up resulting, you guys, and I think was one of the most coming in clutch moments of Star Wars. Obviously when you think of those type of moments, it would be Luke destroying the Death Star, right at the last possible second, Obi-Wan getting the high ground. But this here, you guys, was just such an intense moment. I sat there thinking, oh my gosh, are they actually going to do it? Because I feel every time we think, oh, we're finally going to figure out where Tantiss is, they kind of throw us off and it's no, we still haven't found it yet. And I will give props to Crosshair as well, because Crosshair throughout this entire episode was saying to trust Echo, to put trust in Echo, which is funny because I feel when Echo first joined the Bad Batch, and especially in that first episode of the show, it didn't really feel like Crosshair liked Echo. He was kind of teasing him a lot, and it just didn't feel like the relationship was there, But here it was fully on board with it. We need to trust Echo. Echo's gonna get this done for us. And I loved the determination from Hunter in putting his trust in Echo as well, because Rampart was sitting there at the very end being you need to abort the mission. And Hunter just has this determined look on his face not an option. We need to get our sister back. We need to get our brothers back. So in that regard, it was worth the risk. But now that being said, are they going to be located once they get to Tantiss? Or will they just be able to sneak away? The other big part to this episode was Omega and her story with meeting the children that we met a couple episodes ago. And Omega comes up with a plan for escaping, and she almost ends up getting caught in that process, but she ends up taking one of Emery's tools and she kind of pokes a hole through the wall to try and see okay, where does this thing that these tunnels that the droids have access to, where do they go? And by the end of the episode, she's able to figure it out and she has her plan for escaping. And I think it's all going to kind of come together very well, because the fact that you've got Omega that's already got her escape thing going, you've got Bad Batch on the way to rescue her. Hopefully they can send the coordinates to Rex so we can get Rex and the Clone Rebellion to join the boys on Tantiss. I am curious to see what part Rampart plays in the rest of this arc, because the whole deal was basically okay, you help us find Tantiss, you can go free. But now he's actually with them on the way to Tantiss. So I'll be very curious to see what he does, if anything. But like I said, when I was sitting there watching that moment, I was just it was such an intense thing, like, oh my gosh, are they actually going to do it? And in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, even if they can't do it, like, I guess they've got Echo on board the ship, so maybe he could send out a message or something with the coordinates. But now that we've got, like, the full Bad Batch team, I mean, I guess apart from Tech, but the full Bad Batch team that's going to be arriving on Tantiss, I feel much better about our chances. And we still got to figure out, like, who these clone operatives are, right? If they are anybody. It is funny because I feel like a lot of times when people speculate about stuff on Star Wars, right, like the whole who is Snoke thing, and then people be like, oh, it's this person, and then it ends up being nobody. It could very well be the same with these clone operatives. Obviously, the two big ideas that me and my brother have floated around, and ideas that other people have seemed to have thrown around as well, is the idea that it could potentially be Tech, it could potentially be Cody. But either way, I am curious to find out more about these clone operatives. And I want to know, how do we get from Captain Rex in this show to the Captain Rex that we see in Rebels? Because the Captain Rex that we see in Rebels, at the start of it anyway, has kind of just like given up on the fight. He's just living out the rest of his days in retirement, slinging for Jupas. I don't know how this ends other than like, yes, maybe we destroy Tantiss, but in the process, everyone else gets destroyed too. I don't know. I pitched the idea a couple weeks ago that maybe Tarkin shows up with a fleet and ends up bombarding the planet and then goes to Palpatine and is like, oh, we had to do what we had to do. You know what I'm saying? There were insurgents here. We had to take care of them. Very curious, you guys. Very excited to see where we go from here. You'll have to let me know in the comments below where you guys think we're going next. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode. I really enjoyed this one personally, but I'm even more excited to see where we go next in this show. We only got 2 left, you guys. We're coming down to the wire. So with that, you guys, that is going to wrap us up for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with others to help support the channel, and I will see you guys next time.